this kind of pandemic situation does not show that the omnipotence of the state power, but rather kind of very, limit of state power, which allowed, as you said, the people's control over that kind of power. It's to clarify the distinction between state power and the people's, the power. That is so interesting, in my opinion.
That's very important what you say now. Because when people like Agamben and so on claim now state tries to exert total control, it will be very ironic what I will say now. But isn't it that people would like the state to really control the virus?
There's a kind of ideological fantasy there.
We feel that the state itself, up at a certain point, becomes visible that the state is rather impotent, basically, cannot control the situation and so on. Another world, again, is the Chinese world of totally digitalized control. I think that the true miracle is not China, but it's, at least up till now, South Korea, and especially Hong Kong, and Chinese don't like to hear this, Taiwan. You can see here that you can have lockdowns and all that, but what is important is that there is a mutual trust, at least relative trust, between the population and the government.
Some French, intellectual, the liberal intellectual, criticized such a transparency, which was actually carried by Korean government, because we actually used that personal data for that kind of, the mass test. It means we actually check up the people's, movement, and then actually contact them to let them actually report their actual symptoms to the, medical authority, something like that. This liberal is a little bit panic about this kind of situation, and they call that this kind of system as a totalitarian. But that is, I think, some very vulnerable point of transparency. Transparency means we must actually give all information personal information to the authority. And that is a kind of liberal, belief, faith about, the relationship between power and the individual.
No, by transparency, I meant transparency of how the state controls us. But I don't have this fears. Okay, I can imagine a situation that the state can use this way that they control you through your phone to also for political uses, to learn whom you are meeting and so on and so on. But let me tell you something that my friends from Israel told me. Those in power, are already doing this serially, already before coronavirus. When in United States, that we discovered that National Security Agency has access to all our phone calls, to all our internet communication, and so on and so on. No, they are already doing it. Now, at least they are doing it personally for a good cause. I don't think, again, I think this fear that we will be controlled is a fake. It's a fake fear. It's a right-wing libertarian fear, and they deny basically the seriousness of the situation. I just don't want the authorities to control my mind, what I think and so on. I don't care if they control where I go or whatever, no? And if they can warn me, don't go there, there is an infected person there, I would say, thanks very much.
So actually, Michel Foucault said, the kind of modernization and modernity is a kind of, always related to surveillance.
Don't follow too much Michel Foucault here, and don't dismiss surveillance as just something that works in order to control population and so on and so on. This type of surveillance can well work with civic freedoms.
일단 그 지적 선생이 바라보는 한국의 성공 비결은 사실 정부의 발빠른 대응이죠. 그것이 굉장히 잘 효과적으로 작동을 했다는 것이 지적 선생은 이제 굉장히 중요하게 보는 입장이고요. 일단 방역이라는 것이 우선이었고, 방역과 관련돼서 이제 정보 공개를 이제 했는데 그게 문제를 일으키니까 또 수정하고 이런 방식으로 갔죠. 그거는 굉장히 바람직한 거예요. 유럽 상황 같은 경우 우리가 보고 있으면 유럽의 가치라는 것이 그런 인권이라는 게 대단히 중요한데 그렇다고 인권을 포기하자는 뜻이 아니라 이제 그 인권의 개념을 재구성해야 되는 거죠. 이런 상황이 오게 되면. Many people actually pointed out, what happened in China and what happened in Asian countries like South Korea. Some actually liberal, the intellectual in Europe and America is quite worried about, the kind of authoritarian mentality, authoritarian state. Yeah. But what really actually happened in China and Korea and the other, Asian countries, definitely such, people's quite, the free and the intervention in this situation, kind of, the pave the way toward such, sharing the commons, not really, state. Get involved in that kind of control. It's not a control society.
What we are saying, state needs not some world government, but close collaboration, international coordination. Without this, we are lost, I claim. Because, my God, even intelligent capitalists like Bill Gates know this. You cannot, for a short time, you can do what relatively lucky countries like Australia and New Zealand plan to do. That's very important against right-wing populism, which claims we should isolate into nation states. No, of course we have to have quarantines, control, and so on and so on. That's why I don't agree with otherwise my good friends like Agamben, who worry that this digital control of our lives will bring new totalitarianism and so on. Listen, in Europe and in the United States, it's the populist right who is against lockdown. I am much more afraid at this moment of false libertarians, of those, you still find them, even in Europe, who claim this is all an exaggeration, we can mix, judge with caution, life should go on as normal, and so on and so on. Israel, I was told by friends from there and in some part of the United States, is that after the first month or what of panic, now people simply decided, oh, it's not so serious, let's go out. They go out, cafeterias are full, you are allowed to sit only outside, but from the next week also inside. I think there is something pretty irrational in it.
All right.
Maybe before we were too paranoid, you avoided any contact. Now people are more and more simply mixing, economy should open and so on and so on.
외국 친구들이 계속 저한테 물어보기를 록다운 됐느냐, 너희들도 격리가 됐느냐 이렇게 물어보는데 우리는 격리가 된 적은 없거든요. 그러니까 격리를 안 하고 이만큼 이제 코로나 바이러스를 통제했다는 게 외국에서 이제 주목하는 부분이죠. 근데 이제 국가로부터 떨어져 국가가 안 보이면 개인은 이제 자유로운 존재가 되는 거죠. 그래서 이제 일반적으로 자유주의나 이런 어떤 정치 사상들은 국가로부터 개인을 떼어놓는 그걸 굉장히 중요하게 봤단 말이에요. 그게 이제 이른바 유럽이나 미국에 있는 그런 이제 자유주의적인 시민에 대한 생각이에요. 그래서 이제 유럽이라는 미국에 우리가 가지고 있는 그런 이상적인 어떤 관점으로서 봤던 그런 국가에 비한다면 훨씬 더 이제 그런 것들이 아시아 국가에 잘 이루어졌다. 지적 선생은 그런 아시아에서의 코로나 바이러스 성공이라는 것이 어떤 국가의 역할이라는 걸 제고하게 만들어주는 거고, 우리 민주주의는 사실 어떤 측면에서 보면 그런 감시의 이중성과 함께 공존한다고 볼 수가 있죠. 그래서 그걸 어떤 선에서 정하느냐가 그 사회의 정치 체제의 성격이에요. 너무 이제 그런 정보가 공개되고 투명성이 확보되어 버리면 사실 그게 전체주의잖아요, 그죠? 그래서 어느 선까지 투명성을 보장할 것인가? After Second World War, we actually had, that kind of Cold War framework, led by the United States. But we actually witnessing at the moment the crisis of even actually somebody already said in end of the United States, the leadership. So and somebody actually also they expect, rise of China. Whether Chinese wants or not, actually definitely after this situation, I think China will become up, as kind of a leader.
Maybe I wouldn't be so sure because there is also it's very interesting in some African and Latino American countries. I read the disappointment at China. Our world is so complex that something that can function like an obstacle or causing trouble. No, we have to be prepared for low-cost invasions, for new problems, and so on and so on. And again, only together we can do it. Chinese here at least see this. You know that now they have a big low-cost invasion in Eastern Africa and Arab countries. And Chinese are helping them to contain it because they know that if they don't stop it there, it can come to China. I think that's the paradox. Although we need lockdowns and so on, international cooperation is more urgent than ever. We need a state now, a strong state, a state ready to collaborate with other states and with local communities, and a state which is basically trusted by people and which trusts people. This is for me, from what I know, the problem maybe with China. Isn't the Chinese model based on not trusting?
You said that China is not the future of our world.
I hope not. It can be, I think the situation is open. Some people are saying China is our future. We will see. Others think this a new cruel, brutal capitalism. People die and so on, but markets will survive is our future. If these are our only two options, Trump or China, then let's gather in a nice hotel and commit suicide.
Right. Actually, we see that the America, the Trump government tried to build up the new Cold War, front. He seemed actually tried to do that. They're actually taking, the anti-Chinese, sentiment, and then he tried to use that kind of, situation.
Even if Chinese did lie and so on, probably they did, I don't know. But this is the worst thing. Trump is really thinking now in terms of, he's so transparent what he is doing. He is afraid that coronavirus crisis will ruin his chances of re-election. So his idea is, let's create an external enemy so that we can blame them. And this is the worst thing that can happen. Trump is practically declaring a war, okay, at least a Cold War on China. This is the worst thing that can happen at this moment. I really think that this can lead to unpredictable international chaos and so on.
That was false. And rather than having an argument, I said, I have to call it where it came from. It did come from China. They made a horrible mistake, and they didn't want to admit it. We wanted to go in. They didn't want us there. Even World Health wanted to go in. Should have never happened. Could have been stopped at the source. Could have been stopped in China. It should have been stopped right at the source, and it wasn't.
我们敦促美方摘下意识形态有色眼镜， 否则损失更大的将是美国。美国的政客停止向中国甩锅，还是把时间和精力用到控制好本国的疫情上面。
상대적으로 지금 미국이나 유럽에 비해서 중국이 그래도 빨리 이제 경기를 회복하고 있고 또 회복하려 노력 중이고요. 그러니까 코로나를 빨리 이제 해결하고 이제 그런 부분들에 대해서 자기들이 뭔가 조치를 취해서 이제 경제를 재건하려고 하겠죠. 이제 그것이 성공적이라면 중국의 역할들이 당연히 중요하게 부각이 될 수밖에 없는 거예요. 그러니까 지금 미국이 중국을 견제하기 위해서 수없이 많은 어떤 신냉전적인 그런 어떤 수사를 계속 구사하고 있잖아요, 그죠? 근데 그것도 미지수예요. 과연 신냉전이 과연 이루어질 수 있을지도. 왜냐하면 그 과거에 2차 세계대전 이후에 냉전이 가능했던 이유는 일단 막강한 이제 그런 그 소련을 중심으로 한 그런 소비에트 블록이 있었고요. 또 한 가지는 미국의 경제 부흥이 있었던 거죠. 미국의 경제 성장이 있었기 때문에 그것이 뒷받침됐기 때문에 냉전이 가능했던 거예요. 근데 앞으로 국제 질서가 변화할 것이라는 건 확실하다는 거죠. 그리고 거기에서 중국의 역할이 중국이 원하든 아니면 원하지 않든 또는 중국이 아닌 다른 나라가 원하든 원하지 않든 어쨌든 중국의 역할은 부각될 거라는 거예요. 대두할 것이고 이렇게 많은 전문가들이 생각하듯이 중국이 과연 이제 글로벌 리더십을 갖춘 국가가 될 것인가는 물음표죠, 아직까지.